Thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe down below.
Hi kids, it's Pimmy again. And today, when I'm coloring, I think I'm gonna color something from my Avengers cards. Right there. Today, I want to do heroes. What are you gonna color? Are you gonna use colored pencils, crayons, chalk, markers? It's all up to you, as well as what you want to color. But remember, you've got to have paper because we always color on paper. So let's get started. Today, the heroes that we got from our Marvel box are Thor and Nick Fury. And it looks like Nick Fury is chasing Thor to back him up while they chase down some bad guys. And I think I'm just gonna start off by coloring in Nick Fury's coat right here. So I think I want to use a black pencil first and color in his coat. I want to make some of his coat a dark color. Always coloring on paper. And I'm going to do the inside of his collar and make that black. And I'm going to give him a black eye patch. Like that. And we'll make the inside of his coat back here black too. I want to use different colors for the rest of his cloak, so we will wait for those. But until then, we're gonna make it black on these parts. In that spot, and it looks like this is some more of the inside of his coat. And then we're gonna make these laces that come across his boots black, and the toe of his boot black, like that. So then I should do this part and this part just to make it match on both his boots. I think that is that spot on that boot too. And then I'm gonna make his belt black. And I made this part black over here. So I think I should make this part of his coat black too. That way it matches. And right here is the inside of his coat again, so I'm gonna do that and this little part. Let's see if there's other things we want to make black before we're done. I think we'll make these little parts that come around his gun black too. Same with this portion here going down to his trigger and these parts, as well as its front sight, just like that. And it looks like maybe we could do a little bit here to match what we did with those ones. And on Thor, I think we'll do a similar thing. We'll make these little parts of his boots black in between the parts that come across, and down on his toes of his boots we'll make black. And I'm just trying to stay inside my lines and only color the parts that I want to be black, not the rest. And I'm trying to make the left shoe and the right shoe match with how I color the different parts. And we'll do every other one of these. So that means there's one and we skip it and color this one. And then one that we skip and we do this one. One that we skip and we do this one. Like that. And then we'll try to do the same over here. Start with the top one and skip the next one. Do the next one down and skip the next one. Just like that. Then we'll do these little spots that come around the edge of his shirt. Little designs that do little zigzags. Sometimes I like to color those in yellow because they look like lightning, and Thor is the god of thunder. And after you see lightning, you can hear thunder. So since the two go together, I usually like to color them in yellow. But today, I'm going to use my imagination with my colors. So we're going to pretend that they're different this time and see how it looks when we're done. And we'll do this edge here. And then we'll do these little spots that go around the circles on his body. And the ones on his shoulders. But I gotta be careful not to do his hair, so I've gotta stay inside the lines. And practice makes perfect, so we just have to keep practicing staying in our lines. And sometimes with colored pencils, it gets a little tricky to be inside your lines. But when that happens, it's usually because you need to sharpen your pencil. But if you're not supposed to use your sharpeners by yourself, make sure you ask your parents if they can help sharpen for you. And if you're at school, your teachers can help you. Or if you have a babysitter, they can help you. Oh look, I almost missed this cuff on Nick Fury's other arm. I need to do that one. And if you find those spots like that get forgotten sometimes, that is why when I'm done, I always set my colored pencils to the side and put them away later. For now, we're done with our one black pencil. B L A C K. Black. Now let's choose a color for the rest of Nick Fury's coat. I think today, since I'm going to be creative with our colors, that I want to find a dark purple. That one is a blue one. So that's the wrong one. There we go. Our purple one. And I'm going to color in the rest of Nick Fury's coat. Just like this. He's going to have a black and purple coat. And I decided to go with purple just because I like it. So we can see what it looks like when we're done. And because his coat's purple, I think we're gonna make these little bands around his leg purple. Like that. And we'll make the sides of his boots purple. And right around the toe that we made black. And right here at the bottom, I'm gonna just use a little bit of pressure to make that purple just a little bit darker. But not too much. If you do too much, you might break your markers or your colored pencils or your crayons, whatever you're coloring with. So you've got to be careful when you try to do that technique. You got to just be a little soft. I don't know that I want to use any purple on Thor. So that, I think, is going to be all my purple. So that's 1 purple. P-U-R-P-L-E. Purple. But I forgot some spots with my black one. So like I said, that's why I put them to the side, but in a neat little spot so it's not messy and I can pick it up later and put them away. Now I think we need a color for Nick Fury's pants. So I think we're gonna use that dark blue. Like he's wearing blue jeans. So I'm gonna color them all the same direction this time. And just try to stay inside the lines and only color his pants. So he's got a black and purple coat with blue pants. And we're gonna make all these spots down the middle of his boots purple too. Silly Pimmy, that's a blue one, not a purple one. And we'll make his shirt under his coat match his pants with the blue. And we'll color this spot blue too, because I'm not sure what it is. So we're going to pretend those are spots for the collar on the shirt he has underneath. And then it looks like he's wearing gloves to me. So we'll make his gloves match his pants. Just like that. 'Cause his hands are wearing blue gloves now. And for Thor, I think I'm gonna give him a blue cape. And I'm gonna make his whole cape blue. Just like this. Now sometimes what I like to do is go around the edges of what I'm gonna color first, like that, very carefully, so I can stay in my lines. And if you go around all the edges like this first, then when you color in the rest of it, like we will now, instead of having to worry about where these little lines are and staying in them, you just go from one blue spot here all the way up to this blue spot here, and you have big lines that you can stay inside of instead of small lines. And that makes it a little bit easier. Because then you only have to be really careful when you start and you're on the edges. Let's see if we've got more cape anywhere else. Like right here. Because Thor's cape connects to these circles on his shoulders. But that all looks like it's hair. So that part of his cape on that side, I think, is all hidden behind his big strong arms. And that is all of our blue. One blue. B-L-U-E. Blue. Now let's pick a color for Nick Fury's belt and the rest of his gun. And since we've got Thor here, I think we're gonna imagine that Thor is wearing armor like Vikings do, because Thor is a Viking god. And Viking armor was metal, like guns are. So I'm going to use silver, because silver is a similar color to most metal. And I want it to look like there's a metal gun, a metal belt, and that Thor is wearing metal armor all across his body, just like this. And then the other side, and its part comes down under his belt. Just like that. And this spot, we're gonna imagine is his armor too, and that his belt just has this part that comes across that we colored black earlier. And since he has wings on his helmet, we're gonna make those silver. And since it's a helmet, that is armor too. So I'm gonna color that in with our silver so that he's got a metal helmet. And his little bracers that wrap around his wrists are gonna be metal. And his hammer, Mjolnir, is also made out of metal. And it's so heavy, no one else can pick it up. I think that might be good enough for those. But let's do silver here before we get down to his boots between these black lines like that. So that he's got some metal armor to protect those parts of his legs. And that is our one silver one. So that's one silver. S-I-L-V-E-R. Silver. And I think we need to use our black one again to color in Nick Fury's beard. But I don't want to color his mouth, so I've got to be careful just to get in my lines, not get outside of them. Sometimes that's a little tricky. Now what color do we want to use? This time I think we're going to color Thor's pants and the rest of his boots. I think I want to use a brown color, but not a dark brown. Let's go with this one, because it looks to me like I have these two that are brown. And this one looks darker than that one. So I want to use my lighter one first to color in Thor's pants a brown color. Because since he's a Viking, I want him to have metal armor and leather pants. And he's gonna have leather boots. And leather is usually brown. But sometimes people dye it colors and you get whatever you want when they do that. And there are so many choices. I'm gonna color in his handle on Mjolnir with the brown one too, because I'm gonna imagine that is also leather. So that, I think, is gonna be all of that shade of brown. BROWN. But we have another one that I'm still gonna use. So I'm gonna write my one over here because that's our first brown color. Now we'll use our dark one for Thor's belt. Because Thor's belt should be harder than his pants because it doesn't need to move like his legs do. So I'm gonna pretend that it's a darker leather, because if it's darker, it was probably cured a little bit more, so it's a little harder. And we'll make Nick Fury a dark brown too. But first, I noticed his eyebrow that I need to color in black like I did his beard. Because if you use the dark color from the black one first, when you color, you can go over it with your brown one and it won't show up because the black is too dark. And I don't want to get his teeth, so we're gonna be careful around his mouth so that his teeth stay white and clean. And that's one more brown color. So we take our first brown color and we add in with a plus sign one more brown color. And when we add them together, we get two brown colors. When we have our two, since that's all of them, we put it over here, 2, to count up our totals when we're done. And when we count it, we'll count 1, 2 spots to make sure that we count both of our brown colors when we're adding up all our colors at the end. And I think since we finished coloring Nick Fury in, that we should finish coloring in Thor before we do all the stuff in the background. And Thor, I'm gonna make tan. Just like this. Which tan is almost just a very, very light color of brown. But we'll count it as a different color altogether. Make sure I get all of his arms. And then I've got to get his neck down here and then careful around his chin and cheeks so I don't color his teeth, or else he will have dirty teeth and need to go brush them. Just like that, we're done with our one tan color. T-A-N. Tan. Now we need to color in Thor's hair. I think we'll make Thor blonde. So to do that, we're gonna use a yellow. Color in Thor's hair. And when your hair is yellow, your eyebrows are usually yellow. And then we'll color in these circles on his shoulders and his body and his belt. Make those yellow. I also think we'll make these triangles that are here in the background yellow as well. But not all of the background. Only the ones that point in and stop, making these triangles like this. And these crazy shapes that looks like it's two. We're just gonna color in all these jagged ones, and I'm gonna go from left to right. Left on this side, right on this side. And I'm gonna go all the way around. Just like this. And when you do your colors on your drawings, you can pick whatever colors you want for all the different parts. If you're coloring in a cat, you could make it blue. Just because you can. And maybe it's because blue is your favorite color and you always wanted a blue cat. But blue cats aren't real cats. So you can use your imagination and color in that cat on a picture and make it blue. Just so you can pretend and use your imagination that that cat is your blue cat you always wanted. Maybe you could even find stuffed animal cats that are blue, but not any real cats. And then we're done with our yellow one. Oopsies, too hard. I need to be more gentle with my pencil. One yellow. Y-E-L-L-O-W. Yellow. And then our Thor is colored in, our Nick Fury is colored in, and almost all of our background. We need one more color to put back there, and then we will be all done with this colors. So which one do we want? We could use green or red or orange. There's so many colors to pick from our colored pencils. I think I'm gonna use a red one that's bright. This one looks like it's a bright red one, and it caught my eye. So I want to use it. Just like this. But I don't want other spots to be red. So I'm gonna be very careful and just try to stay in the lines and color the spots that I didn't do yet. But maybe if it's your coloring, you want to mix your red with some other colors, like these yellow ones we have over here. If you mix your red and your yellow colors, do you know what happens? You get a new color. Do you know what color you make when you mix yellow and red together? You get orange. Do you know what happens if you mix together red and blue? You get another new color. You get purple. Just like here on Nick Fury's coat. Do you know what happens if you mix together green and yellow? Silly Pimmy, you just get more green, and your green gets lighter. No new color, you just make your green a different color of green. Just like with our brown, how we had a dark brown and a light brown. And the reason it makes your green more light is because when you mix blue and yellow, you make green. And the more blue you use, the darker your green, because blue is the darker color of the two. I just spotted a part of Nick Fury's cape we need to color in with our purple. So I'm gonna grab it. We missed that spot. But that's okay. That's why it's just right here on the side, and I put them all away when I'm done. When you mix your colors, though, you make lots of new ones. And the colors that are darker will make your colors darker, and the colors that are lighter will make your colors more light. And when you make your colors a lighter shade of color, like if you added more yellow to your blue, to make a lighter color of green, if you do just the right amount of yellow so that it's not a very light green, you can also make your green brighter. And when you have colors mixed together and you have just the right shade, but maybe you want it to be a lighter one, but still just as bright of a color, you can add white. And if you want it to be bright, but a little darker, you could add a little bit of black. But too much white or black goes a very long way, and you might make the whole thing almost all white or all black. So when you mix those two, you have to be very careful. Now we're done with our one red color. R-E-D. red. So today, how many colors did we use? 1, 2, 3, 4. We have to count the 2 times. So we're going to count here and here. So we go from 1, 2, 3, 4 to then we have 5, 6 from our brown colors, 5 and 6, and then 1 more to our tan. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for tan. 8 when we get to yellow, and 9 when we get to red. So we used 9 colors. COLORS. I dropped my pencil. That is when we say someone's got butterfingers. Butterfingered Pimmy. Now, I sure hope you had fun coloring in our Thor and Nick Fury picture as much as I did today. We used 9 colors and we got the whole thing colored in. We always color on paper. Now remember, sometimes we make mistakes, and that's okay. And we can mix colors and make new ones, and that can be fun and creative. So use your imagination right there in your brain and pretend things sometimes, and you can color them and imagine what that would look like for you if it was real. And that can be a whole new level of fun for you to have. So until next time, keep coloring and use your imagination. Until then, bye-bye!
Thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe down below.